Hi, I'm RWoodruff, and today in Cooking in an RV with the BISH organization in beautiful Junction City, Oregon, we are in a 2012 37-foot Newmar Dutch Star diesel pusher. I wanted to use this one because we're gonna make quiche. We've got our ingredients here. We've got our spinach, our sharp cheddar, our Swiss, our Gruyere cheese, salt and pepper, feta cheese for our feta salad, a dozen eggs, pure olive oil, sliced olives, cucumber, lemon, shallots. We've got our Marie Callender pie crust, a nice deep dish pie crust. I've got my center cut original bacon here, and our half and half. So let's get going on making some quiche. It's quiche, it sounds really complicated. It's scrambled eggs with bacon, okay? But it doesn't take a whole lot of stuff. I've got 3 bowls here. One's gonna be for our salad, our Greek feta salad with cucumber. Oh, and I didn't buy tomatoes, so a friend is actually running out to get me some tomatoes. So you saw tomatoes over there, trust me. So I'll have one of these for my Greek feta salad, a couple for prepping and one for backup, a couple spoons, a couple forks. The forks are actually gonna be very important because we're gonna blind bake our pie crust, which means I'm gonna poke it with a bunch of holes so it can let the air out, not trap it and create a big bubble. You end up with a quiche just along the edge, nothing in the middle. That would irritate me. So we're gonna blind bake it by poking it. That's what our forks are for. A cheese grater, a whisk, a knife, some measuring implements. It's really a simple dish. So we're gonna take and we're gonna dice this up a little bit, throw it in a bowl, throw it in our convection microwave, and cook it off. I've got this convection microwave all preheated to 375 degrees, so we can get started. I just press bake, and then I just press whatever number I want. It's 100 up to 400 degrees in increments of about 25 degrees, give or take a little bit there. I just selected number 8, 375. I went with a really high quality bacon because you just really can't skimp on the bacon. Cheap bacon's gonna make your food taste cheap. Quality bacon's gonna make your food taste great. So I went with a nice thick center cut bacon as opposed to a generic bacon or a store brand bacon. The recipes call for approximately 6 pieces of bacon. It's bacon. 6 ain't gonna cut it. I went with about 8 pieces of bacon. Cut it up into what I consider bite-sized pieces. There we go. With this much bacon, I wouldn't do this on a plate because it's gonna create a lot of grease, okay? My light's on. My convection oven is cooking that bacon down, and let's move on. This is gonna take, maybe 10 minutes. While this is cooking, we're gonna prep our pie crust, and this is called blind baking. What we do is we prep that pie shell. I buy the frozen pie shells because making a pie shell in an RV is a little messy, and our support staff that works really hard would be cleaning up this mess for a month and then coming out to talk to me and saying how much they enjoy my cooking, amongst other things. We want to make sure that we're actually punching through the pie crust and getting it nicely perforated. And making quiche is actually really quick and easy and fun. My wife loves this quiche. There's a lot of different recipes out there that you can use. I'm gonna do 2 different kinds today. One is gonna have the regular sharp cheddar, and the other one is gonna have the smoky Gruyere and Swiss cheese. The other thing the holes do is it allows that egg mixture to sink into the crust because it's gonna be slightly pre-baked. If we don't pre-bake it for about 10 minutes, what's gonna happen is it's gonna get really soggy and we're not gonna get that really nice, beautiful texture from our crust. So we're gonna let those set off to the side, and they do wanna be thawed out We're gonna let that set. While that's setting, we're gonna go ahead and prep up all of our ingredients. So we're gonna start off by prepping our shallots. You can use onion, you can use shallots. I prefer, for my quiche, I prefer shallots. They've got a, I don't know, just a softer, milder flavor. And the tomatoes showed up. Vine ripened, beautiful tomatoes. Firm, not soft, no yellow, no green. They're gonna be wonderful. Thank you, Lindsay, for getting us those tomatoes. While we're waiting on the bacon to cook, we're gonna prep up our feta salad. Again, I'm gonna use shallots. This is one of those dishes I normally use a sweet onion, but since I was using shallots for the quiche, I thought I'd go ahead and use shallots for the Greek feta salad as well. Now we're gonna prep up our cucumbers. Gonna peel most of the skin off, trying not to take away too much of the meat of the cucumber. I definitely like to leave some of the green on because it does create some really beautiful contrast. And most, you know, not most, a lot of our flavor comes from what we see. If it doesn't look appealing, it's not going to be appealing while I'm peeling. One thing I learned working in commercial kitchens and restaurant school and culinary arts school and all those kind of places is clean as you go. Clean as you go, it's gonna be so much better. Okay, so we've got our vine ripened tomatoes. Full of acids, which is going to help break down that cucumber and the shallots. We're not going to just be counting on our lemon. I think that's about the right amount of tomato. Looks good to me. Okay. This is where one of those big spoons comes in handy. We're going to give it a nice toss and take a look at it. Does it look good to us? Yeah, it looks pretty gosh darn good to us. Now we're going to add in our lemon juice. Let that kind of work on this stuff. So this is pulping it. What that's doing is it's releasing the lemon juice from the fiber. It's gonna make it a lot easier. Oh, it smells wonderful. And then we just give it a nice little slice. If you really wanna get a lot of that juice out, and just think about the physical mechanics of it. Give it a couple stabs in there. Don't stab your hand. Oh, look at that juice just coming right out of there. And you can also do the same thing with vinegars. We're looking for the acid. I'm looking for the acid and the flavor, but that's what we want. And we're gonna give it another nice toss here. Love that aroma. You like the way it smells? Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? Now we're gonna add in our sliced olives. And remember, if you don't carry a can opener with you, remember to get the pull tabs. Give it a little crack. Get that juice out of there. I love olives. Gonna take a moment here before we add anything else. And again, we're going to give it a nice toss. The olives in this salad are one of my favorites. Salt and pepper to taste. I've got a pretty good sized bowl, so I'm gonna give it a pretty good sized liberal amount of pepper here. And I'm using that Himalayan pink rock salt. So it's not as salty as regular salt, so a little extra. Now we're going to add our olive oil. It's a medium flavor on this one. It's 100% olive oil. We're gonna put in, I'd say about 2 or 3 tablespoons. We're gonna dress it to appearance, give it a nice toss, and then our feta cheese. And then I put in about that much. Looks about right. I love this cheese, so I cook for the way I like, and I want you to do the same thing. And again, we're gonna give it a nice toss. Some people like to add oregano to theirs. I usually add oregano. This time I'm not going to add oregano. And it's still got a delicious balanced flavor. We can see how that feta salad is getting a little broke down by our acids. At this point, set it in the refrigerator. Let it think about what it's done. Now we're gonna check on the bacon. So our bacon is coming along nicely. We're gonna give it a little bit of a stir. Get those pieces that are stuck together to break up, cook a little better. And keep it going. Now, our bacon's almost done. So let's go ahead and start prepping our quiche. While we're finishing off our bacon, we're going to prep up our spinach. Give it a nice, I'm using baby spinach because I like the way it tastes. You know, these big stems, I like to get rid of them. I don't go out of my way to find them, but if they pop out at me, I get rid of them. I'm using about 2 handfuls. That looks beautiful. Looks good. So let's go ahead and add these to our spinach. Give this all a nice good toss here. We're gonna saute that off for about 10 to 15 more minutes. And because we do have a good size convection microwave in here, we're gonna put our mid-rack in. Okay. And we're going to put our pie crust in, and we're going to utilize everything all at once. Okay, take a look at that. Okay. So while my pie crusts are prepping up, I'm gonna grate up my smoked Gruyere cheese. Now the recipe calls for 4 ounces of cheese. Some recipes call for 5, some call for 6. Just depends on how much you like your cheese. I love cheese. Like I said, I didn't get this figure by accident, so you do you. So I've got 8 ounces of smoked Gruyere cheese. I've got about 4 ounces there, half of this, and we want a little more. So I've got about 6 ounces in there, roughly 50% more. Get our eggs done up. Okay, I'm gonna use 5 large eggs. The better you whisk the eggs now, the more air you infuse into them, the lighter and airier your quiche is going to be. So start off with a really good whipping. And to our egg mixture, we're going to add 1.25 cups of half and half. And again, we're going to give it another really good whisking. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my cheese right to my egg and milk mixture. Gently fold that all together. There's a beautiful lunch, Quiche Lorraine, Greek feta salad, a 2012 Dutch Star, the Bish RV organization in beautiful Junction City, and Roger Woodruff. Welcome to lunch. Thank you.